to introduce Ms. Mae Gibson Wall as your commencement speaker. Ms. Gibson Wall is a highly regarded classmate, exceptional student, mentor, volunteer, and writer. Her advisor agrees, and I quote, "Ms. Gibson represents the best of her generation in terms of her many talents, her genuine humility, her dedication to the projects she takes on, and her passion for helping others," unquote. Ms. Gibson Wall will graduate today with a double major in English and an individually designed major entitled Narrating Our Values. Her individually designed major has been described as, and I'm quoting again now, representing the very best in the liberal arts tradition, unquote. It is my pleasure to welcome to the podium Ms. Mae Gibson Wall. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to everyone, and congratulations to those graduating today. I would like to begin by expressing my utmost gratitude for being given the opportunity to address you all on this incredibly important day. It is an overwhelming honor. I am fairly certain that this honor was bestowed upon me because of another honor I recently received, being the first place winner of the 2008 Elie Wiesel Prize in Ethics for my essay, God and Our Ethics. I would be remiss not to acknowledge that the prize in ethics came as the result of having a great deal of help. The essay was composed in a writing class taught by Dr. Maureen Salzer, to whom I owe an enormous debt of gratitude. I also want to thank my wonderful classmates. The feedback I received from all of them helped shape the essay into what it ultimately became. On that note, I would like to acknowledge how much support everyone at UWS has given me during my time here. I have never received as much kind, gracious encouragement from peers and instructors alike as I have here. Having spent several years as an actor in New York City, I'm used to a world where people are so competitive that no one can afford to compliment or support anyone else for fear that they will lose some of their own value. This has been a hard feeling for me to shake. But here at UWS, support pours out of everyone. When I was first awarded the prize in ethics last spring, my fellow students stopped me constantly to extend their warm congratulations. No one was threatened by this achievement or showed me any kind of resentment. Everyone here has reached out to me in kindness and love, and that speaks volumes about what a remarkable place this is. Given how much this support has helped me, it was only natural that I would ask for input on what to speak about today. I sought Dr. Salzer's opinion almost immediately, and she suggested I speak about an upcoming trip I have planned to India. At first, I didn't know if this would offer substantial material, but in the wake of the terrorist attacks which have occurred there recently, I decided it was indeed a worthy topic. In late January, I will be moving to India for 4 months to volunteer at an orphanage run by Child Haven International. Never having traveled internationally before, I can only imagine what this experience will be like. All I know for certain is that I will live each day under the same roof as the children, and that I will contribute to their home to the best of my abilities. I am beyond thrilled to have the opportunity to do this, and I know I will be the ultimate beneficiary of this experience. Whatever I may have to offer the children, I am sure that they will have even more to offer me. All along in the planning of this trip, people have responded positively and encouragingly. But following the terrorist attacks in Mumbai a few weeks ago, attitudes have shifted. Now people discourage my going and ask if I still want to do this, intonating that I should abandon this desire. Well, of course I still want to do this. The alternative is as irrational as the subject of the debate. Is it helping anyone if I stay home and live in fear of what may possibly happen? There is, of course, a certain amount of realistic caution to be exercised. If civil unrest develops in the areas I will be visiting, then I may have to tweak my agenda. But if these attacks remain an isolated, albeit profoundly tragic event, then what truly do I have to fear? The reality is that our world is one in which terrible things happen everywhere, every day, and we cannot allow the fear that comes from this reality to paralyze us. I happen to live in New York City during the September 11th terrorist attacks. At the time, I had been living in downtown Manhattan for 1 year, and I would ultimately stay on for another 5 years after 9/11. We are all aware that this was the most extreme act of violence to occur on American soil in modern history, and we all know the fear that was embedded in each one of us as a result of bearing witness to that day. The immediate result for me was that many people felt that I should leave the city for reasons of safety. Had I done that, had I succumbed to this ultimately irrational fear, I wouldn't be where I am today. I have the most blessed life I could possibly imagine. It is truly better than it has ever been in my dreams. A week after September 11th, I met Matt Wall, whom I married 2 weeks ago today. It was my relationship with Matt which helped me decide to move to this part of the country and to finish my degree here at UWS. It was my returning to school which led me to winning the prize in ethics and meeting the great Nobel Peace Prize winner, Elie Wiesel. And it was that honor which helped me decide to broaden my horizons and go to India to work on behalf of those less fortunate than myself. After all, it is one thing to write about ethics, and it is another thing entirely to live ethically and to actually extend oneself to others. How ethical would it be if I decided to stay home and prize my personal comfort over the opportunity to lend a hand to people with none of the luxuries I have enjoyed for so many years? The truth is that all of us will spend much of our lives being afraid of change, afraid of sacrifice, afraid of loss, afraid of our own shortcomings. Sometimes these fears will be legitimate, but most of the time they won't be. Fear keeps us from living our lives to their full potential because it keeps us from taking risks. And without risks, life becomes stagnant and joy is squandered. Ultimately, my decision to visit India in spite of the recent attacks is one that has to do with fear and how I choose to react to it. I learned from a great teacher that we make decisions in times of leisure so that they will serve us in times of stress and fear. Today is, for all of us graduating, a transitional moment in life. We've all achieved something monumental, and many of us likely feel overwhelmed by the accomplishment. And as we look ahead to the future with all of its daunting mysteries and unknowns, we have to decide who we wish to be. Do we wish to be people who dwell easily in familiarity? Or do we wish to open ourselves up to the opportunities and adventures that life may offer us, in spite of the fear that goes along with this? Again, I am not advocating blindness to the realities of life, but I believe that it is up to each of us how rich we want our lives to be. This does not mean that we should all rush off to India. My husband said it best when he told me he thinks we all have different gifts and different ways to serve the world. For me, this will be working with children in India. This is not his path, although he remains firmly supportive. We each have to discover what our path is, and when we know the answer deep in our hearts, we must choose to live by that conviction, and not by the countless reasons not to act. I can think of 100 reasons not to go to India. Snakes, rats, dirty water, and terrorism, to name only 4. But the singular reason I have in favor of going, to give and receive love, puts them all to shame. May we all act in the service of love for ourselves and for others in all that we do. Because it really doesn't matter what any of us do with our lives, as long as we act courageously in favor of love. Thank you, and good luck.